Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. All right, everybody, I'm back. Good to be back. So want to go ahead and do some quick post-game reaction on a team and a program that we talk about quite a bit here on the Aaron Torres Pod and Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel. That's Colorado Buffaloes. So Colorado, listen, it's been quietly, I feel like, unless you're a huge Buffs fan, unless you follow this program closely, a kind of quiet season in Colorado as this team just keeps winning. And coming into Saturday, we know what was at stake. You keep winning. You got to beat Utah, but if you keep winning, you are in position to make the Big 12 championship game. You are in position to play for a college football playoff appearance. Not to mention Travis Hunter is, of course, the Heisman frontrunner, according to all the sports books. Shedeur Sanders trying to join Travis Hunter in New York for the Heisman ceremony. So there was a lot on the line coming into Saturday. Well, the good news, if you're a Buffs fan, they took care of business, beat a good Utah team. I know Utah's struggling, but they take care of business, get the win. With the victory, Colorado has now doubled its win total a year ago. They're sitting at 8-2. 10-2 is in the cards. Big 12 championship game is in the cards. College football playoff is in the cards. It's awesome. And here is the best part, people. We all watched the game. You watched it just like I did. The Buffs did not play great or perfect football. And that is the thing that stands out to me. This is a team that, forget next year, forget 2025, 26, 27. This is a team that has a chance to get better over the next couple weeks. I don't even think they have played their best football, and they're sitting here at 8-2. So let's go ahead and dive in. First of all, offensively, first of all, before anything else, reminder, you see it on the screen. We have our new Torres On account. We have team-specific pages on Twitter for a bunch of schools: Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, BYU, UConn, etc. We have started a Torres On CU page. Find us on Twitter, Torres On CU. All my stuff, news, information on the program. We know there's going to be a ton of information on the program with the portal opening up, all that good stuff in the next couple weeks. So make sure you're following Torres On CU. But let's get into Saturday. And again, the sign of a great team and a great program is that you can win when you don't even play your best football. And that's exactly what Colorado did on Saturday. Now, part of it is, even though Utah is struggling, this is still an elite defense. We talked about it in all of our preview stuff throughout the week. Utah, the best pass defense that Colorado has seen so far this season. And just in general, one of the best defenses, period, that they have seen. The best defense probably since week 2 against Nebraska. Kansas State is pretty good statistically, but this is still a very good defense. And so it wasn't always pretty at times, but credit as always, especially the passing game. Shedeur Sanders and his teammates did just enough to put up. By the way, talk about doing just enough. They put up 42 points, and I'm talking about they didn't even play their best football. Okay. And so I bring it up to very simply say credit to this team. It wasn't always pretty. The run game struggled, which we thought it might against a very talented Utah defense. But Shedeur Sanders does what he does. 2 touchdowns, obviously, to Will Shepherd. That Draylon Miller touchdown, goodness freaking gracious. Draylon Miller, the true freshman, breaks a tackle, drags a guy into the end zone. It shows you, when Coach Prime brings you in as a freshman, he expects you to contribute. That's exactly what that kid has done all season long. And so, listen, as I said, run game wasn't perfect, but this was a great run defense, but the pass game was elite, pass game was awesome, etc. Then on the defensive side of the ball, listen, I know that if you just look at the box score, if you just look at the final score, you sit there and say, well, they gave up some points, they gave up some yards. This defense is still getting after it, okay? We had the Travis Hunter interception, certainly helping his Heisman conversation. Credit to Colton Hood for the knockout, which led to the Travis Hunter interception. But I continue to be so impressed by this defense, and especially the guys up front making plays. We had Damian Lewis, the defensive line coach, on this show not that long ago. D-Lou is incredible. He has done an incredible job with that group. Warren Sapp has obviously done an incredible job with that group. I don't want to leave anybody out. If I have, I apologize. But the guys up front, listen, you watch them, those dudes can compete and play with anybody. that they're going to see all year. You know, Amari McNeil, another monster game, number 88, who came from Tennessee a few years ago. BJ Green, I don't think people realize just how good this kid is on a national level. Don't think people realized how good he was before he even got to college. Nikhil Hill-Green, of course, had a couple big plays. And again, this defense was just so phenomenal, and they are so physical and tough up front. Arden Walker, by the way, had a big play in the backfield. So I just bring it up to very simply say, I just don't think people realize how talented this defensive front is. This isn't fluky. It isn't gimmicky. They are well coached. They are very talented. They are put in position to succeed. I don't want to forget the defensive coordinator, Livingston, who, of course, Gus Johnson said during the broadcast, he's like, I thought that was a GA who was walking into the room when he walked in. But it speaks to this is a well-coached team. Players are in position to succeed. And here's the crazy part. You want to know what the crazy part was? Like I said, don't even think they played that well. Listen, think about the fact that, again, and we talked about this a little bit after the Texas Tech game. It's not a knock, but it's just a reality. Yes, this team is talented, but look at the final stats. Look at the fact that there was a couple penalties that were drive killing in the first half. The penalties were down overall, which is great, coming off of what was it, 12, 13 penalties against Texas Tech. But there was a couple drive killing penalties early in the game. You did have 3 turnovers in this game. You know, the Will Shepherd fumble, and I'm not blaming any individual. Shedeur Sanders on literally the first play of the game. And despite 3 turnovers, despite a couple drive-killing penalties, you still put up, by the way, I think I said 42 earlier. You end up putting 49 points up. You hit the over by yourself. This is just incredible. It is awesome. And it speaks to the fact that this team is, again, playing their best, or not that they're winning games despite not playing their best football. And so when I look at what's ahead, listen, we're recording here right after the Colorado game, so we don't know what is going to happen with BYU. We don't know what's going to happen in that Kansas BYU game later in the evening. But I'll tell you this, man, you take care of Utah the way that they did. I'm not putting it past you to run the table, and I expect you to run the table into the Big 12 championship game. Again, coming into Saturday, we're recording before the BYU game. Kansas is playing better football. Kansas obviously just last week took care of business against Iowa State, easily could have beaten Kansas State a few weeks ago. But at the same time, with the way this team is playing, I don't know why you wouldn't think that Colorado is going to go to Kansas and get the win next week. Obviously, Oklahoma State is struggling. We'll see that game on Black Friday. But I just bring it up to very simply say that if you're a Buffs fan, you got to be excited because, again, you look at this team and there is still room for improvement. And so to me, and I know I've said it a few times now, but this is what I keep coming back to, is you look at the fact that this team has 2 regular season games left, a Big 12 championship game. Let's say hypothetically they make the college football playoff, win the Big 12, okay? Remember, they will get a bye in the first round. They'll be playing on a neutral site. The reason I bring it up, that's an extra 6 weeks of practice because you still got 2 weeks in the regular season, 1 game in the Big 12 championship game, and then you'd have 2 weeks off during the college football playoff. So I just bring it up because you got 6 weeks to get better, to clean things up, to develop the O-line, to develop the run game, to get guys healthy, to continue to improve on defense. And so that has to have you excited if you're a Buffs fan. Credit to Colorado. They take care of business against Utah. Nice win. I don't think it was perfect. The best is yet to come for this team. And man, oh man, listen, I know I'm not supposed to say this. I know I'm supposed to remain unbiased. It would be so cool to see this Colorado team as the Big 12 representative in the college football playoff. If you enjoyed this video, do me a quick favor. Make sure that you are subscribed to the Aaron Torres Pod and Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel. New clips, new videos going up every single day, talking all things college sports, all things college football, all things Coach Prime. By the way, I don't think the Coach Prime news is slowing down anytime soon. We talked about Julian Lewis a few days ago. We'll see if that ends up coming to fruition. The portal, is going to be crazy. So make sure you're locked in on YouTube. Follow our Torres on CU account. And if you want to help support the show, our primetime t-shirts, baby. Get your primetime t-shirt, AaronTorresOnline.com/merchandise, AaronTorresOnline.com/merchandise.